Holy shit, I wasn't expecting that one. So with episode 1 of Tomb Raider King, I was absolutely sold on it. Could be a fluke, maybe, but it had animation so good its haters had to use AI as a deflection. Love to see it. But do me a solid, make sure you leave a like on this video, share your support, subscribe, ring that bell if you haven't already, and Patreon is where you're going to catch the full uncut live reactions over there. But let's jump into it and see what this episode has in store. Makes it easy to break bones when you know exactly where to hit, I suppose. Ooh, you got a little camouflage. Why my guts on the ground? A little bit. So she kept the same password for like a decade? What an idiot. Yeah, something tells me they're all gonna see that shit. I think we ain't gonna be stealthy here. Oh? It's like a wishing well? You gotta sacrifice something? Or maybe that counts as the key. It's probably gonna be the silver. Like, we tossed in like a gold-looking one, right? So the test is basically to see if you're honest. See, I thought it was a case of like our item got changed. Are you a thief or are you an honest man? Because you should know what yours looks like. Interesting. Bro is a savage! He said, fuck that shit, I want it all! Serial killings in the States. Relic keys are caught. So by taking that relic, you have a chance to become a psycho. I mean, this thing is definitely not going down without a fight. Get off me! I don't like this! Holy shit. So bro's entire mantra is this time around, I'm gonna fucking rule with an iron fist and not give a fuck. This guy's gonna cook. He's waiting to go, yo! He's such a little troll. Is he gonna use it as an opportunity to pickpocket him? Yo. All I can say is our boy is a ruthless MC. Immediately, this show has stood on its own two legs. It doesn't just come across as a soul-leveling clone. As I always say, it doesn't matter what comes first, chicken or the egg. It's whatever is popular first is the one that'll always get compared to, fairly or not, remains to be seen. The thing about this is that you'd be hard-pressed to truly find a soul-leveling fan who deadass hates this unless they just have an irrational hatred boner that they're like, how dare anyone disrespect my King Jinwoo? Like, a reasonable person will be like, oh, I like soul leveling, I also like this. Or, I like Tomb Raider King, I like soul leveling. The thing that made this show immediately stand out to me is that I found myself more interested in him than I was with Jinwoo right off the get-go. And I'm someone who defends Jinwoo probably more than your average fan. I think the emotional storytelling with his mother is quite well done. But this is a man who's back in time. He's a man on a mission. I'm not going to get screwed over. I'm going to use all my knowledge from the future to make sure I am as powerful as possible. And when I see a man look at a test, so it's all about going through these tombs, collecting relics, blah, blah, blah. Every tomb's going to have its own test. So for this one, you toss a relic into the pond, big old snake pops up and says, all right, motherfucker, which one of these is yours? And if you're honest, and you say, hey, neither one of those are mine, you get both weapons, right? And that's all well and good, but then you hear about the fact that this is a world where sometimes relics will make you do things you don't want, such as turn you into a serial killer, which apparently in America, back in the original timeline, is how it went down. So initially when you see him say, hey, can I take a look at my real one, and start slashing this snake, you kind of think he's just a monster. I'm like, okay, the guy's out here just trying to make an honest living exchanging relics. No, because those relics were tainted. And they did some pretty good world building in terms of how the relics work in this series. So seemingly there's three main ways you can bond with a relic. There is the genuine like, hey, we should work together. And that genuine compassion of like making an honest deal. Some relics would probably fuck with that, such as most likely a heroic sword that's looking like Excalibur. You can dominate relic by just pure brute forcing, I'm in charge. And once you've exchanged enough blows, it just has no choice but to obey you, otherwise it will be destroyed. And then he also explains compatibility, which is the best way to explain it. A musician with their instrument. Makes total sense. Those little details, I fuck with. And the fact that they establish that he's just going to strong arm thing. I think that's such a fascinating intro, because often with these types of shows, it takes a bit to build into the I'm a badass mantra. No, he knows he's a badass because obviously with how they started the show off. And I think my favorite point of this entire episode isn't even the action, which I thought once again looked really great, and we'll dive into it a bit more. It was the exchange with this man. So we fuck over this guy by taking the relic before he gets there. And we immediately steal another relic right off him this time by doing the funniest chain of events that you could possibly do. So he has a lot of skills, right? So he can he has x-ray vision and stuff, as we can see here. And the fact that he shakes his beer, sprays him in the face, uses that as an opportunity to pickpocket him. Also, see what his ID is and dip before this man realizes, because he gets a prophecy saying, hey, you should avoid someone with alcohol. The person who got the jump on you's around you, and he's like, that motherfucker was just here. Like, this show has some comedy. It really does. And it actually reminds me, so when Crunchyroll was first like doing the webtoon stuff, you know how like they announced Tower of God, there's a couple other ones they were doing at the time. To me, this is what it feels like, a webtoon. Like, the action animation, I think, is actually fairly close to soul leveling. Apparently that's a hot take for some fucking Jinwoo fanatics, but it is what it is. At least for season 1. The general animation and look of the show, it reminds me of what I feel like Crunchyroll and them were hoping the webtoon pop-off was going to be. Because to me, when I've seen... I don't read webtoons for the most part. I have in the past, a couple. But to me, this is what I imagine a webtoon animated would look like if done well. And then when it comes to the actual action side, that's where it looks like your insanely impressive animation. Now, there will be motherfuckers who will look you dead in the eye and they'll say this is horribly animated. Because they tried saying that last week. But the thing about it is, the entire time watching a snake lash out and watching our boy actually ride it away, like, that's pretty well fucking done. The effects are pretty solid. I think the facial animation's great. In general, I love how this show looks. I think it's one of the best animated shows of the season. I mean, maybe some people just really won't like the general movement of the more slice of life and simple scenes. Like, they'll be like, oh, I really like the action animation, but it does kind of look a little... Because it does, right? It does look different than what you're going to see on an average anime season because of where it's made, how it's made, everything like that. But given the initial, like, enthusiasm I remember for, like, the webtoon craze, like, that's what this reminds me of. And I think it looks really good. I like it. I want more anime to, you know, come out and get popular outside of your traditional just pure on Japanese animation. And then before I get the anime's only if it's from fucking Japan, I'm r/anime, I hate fun, even though the Japanese have a completely different opinion of what it is. Either way, I think Tomb Raider King is going to be one of this season's best watches. It knows exactly what it is. It's not trying to be the deepest show of the season, but it's also not so shallow that you're only watching for him to be an edgelord. Like, legitimately, they've done great with the world building, the concept of the tombs and how they pop up. I like knowing this is still so early that a lot of people don't really know what's happening. The little moments, like the fact that he was able to get into a place that he shouldn't because he knew of the passwords, because this woman never changed her passwords. Apparently the ones that were in the present for him are the same ones she was using in the past. I also really like the concept of, like, that Buddha being like a drug smuggling tool, because you're keeping the drugs inside the hollowed out Buddha, which would only go for 5,000 yen if you pawn it. Doesn't look like anything. Clever. I think they're going to have a lot of fun with this one. I'm ready to just see the most outlandish comments week after week saying this is the worst garbage of all time. It totally is AI. All I can say is, if this is what AI is, you should be very scared, because it looks really well done. You let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. What did you think? Leave a like, share, support, subscribe, ring that bell. And yes, Patreon for live reactions and exclusives do live over there. And hey, if you're already over there, I'll give you a video shout out too, because my patrons are what make this YouTube channel possible. So today we got Davlin, Furno, Pixcalibur, and we also have Science. I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you have a good one.